Hope you're feeling better. I hope you're home. Yeah. All right, so let's begin so that way we have some idea of what we have. I hope everybody can see my screen. If you need any updates regarding the school, you can come to the website here as far as your college is concerned. I don't know why it looks like that, but the information is here. And Madi, you had a question? What's going on, Madi? What's your question? I'm thinking maybe I'm going to use Zoom on Wednesday. That way I can then have everybody participate by talking. You don't have to show your face if you're video shy. So again, for those who are just coming in, you could submit the homework via email. You could take pictures of it, attach it to your email. You could also send it to the phone number 347-460-6284. It takes pictures. Ivadango in the house. Guyana. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, homework is due by midnight. Since I know you've been very busy with the coronavirus. So here we have our website. Those of you who forgot where it is, it's at cirmath.com. This right here, this is a website. I hope you all can see it. And I want to bring your attention to what's going to be on the midterm. So if we go here to midterm and key, I'm going to highlight it right now. This is what you should be concentrating on. This is the website itself. And when you open it up, it's going to bring you here. So this is for the midterm. There's a question there from Jimenez. Do we have to download Zoom? You should be downloading Zoom because I'm going to try it out on Wednesday just to see how it works, because I believe we can have up to 100 people participate. It's about $15. I'll pay the $15. I got no problem paying $15. That way we could all conference in, and if you want to wear a ski mask or pretend we're in Halloween, then you could do that as well. I will be taking attendance as well on Wednesday. So this is the file that you should open. So going back here on our website, cirmath.com, this is the file. Can everybody see that? Is everyone seeing this, or you want me to zoom in a little more? Anybody want me to zoom in? Is that better? Right there where it says midterm key. That is the file you want to concentrate on for the midterm. Speaking of the midterm will be sometime next week. So I'm thinking Monday of next week. Monday the 30th. Is that good? Everybody on board with midterm Monday the 30th? I see a lot of yeses. All right. So that's what I'm talking about. All my fans are saying yes, yes, yes. Wonderful. I love it. All right. Wonderful. All right. So we'll have it on Monday. Let's review right now. And the cool thing about this video, I did a test run yesterday. At the end of the video, it gets recorded on YouTube, and everybody can then replay my voice millions of times to your heart's content. All right, so what is on this midterm? It's very important that you take a look at your quizzes that you had already. That's going to be on lines. They're going to ask you questions on 2 points. And what is the distance? What is the linear equation? What is midpoint of those 2 points? So they're going to expand question number 1 tremendously. You want to concentrate on quiz number 1. Then quiz number 2 dealt with circles, right? But prior to the circles, we have to know what the slope of a vertical line is. We have to know what the slope of a horizontal line is. And I believe Ahmad had a question. Ahmad said the homework was confusing. Yes, it was confusing because I have to teach you the material for homework 7, and I'll go over that. And Actor says, can you do question 17 from the midterm package? Are you referring to this package here, Actor? I hope you are. Oh, zoom out. All right, let's zoom out of here. How's that? Is that better? Ms. Joy? I believe that's good. I hope everyone is getting a good connection on this. So, what's the slope of a vertical line? I know there's a little bit of a lag here. Anybody know? You want to see my face, huh? Leave it to Estefania, huh? Okay, maybe I'll show my face a little later. Yes, good question, Han. The midterm will be online, so I'm gonna try as much as I can to think outside the box as far as your final answers are concerned. So it's gonna be online, and it's gonna be 15 questions, and no one's gonna get the same question. So if Mr. Khan is doing question 1, then Ms. Jones for question 1 might have a different question for question 1 because it's all electronic. So it's gonna be intense. It's gonna be wonderful. All right. So thank you so much for that, Hung. Yes, the slope of a vertical line is undefined, and the slope of a horizontal line is 0. All right, let's continue on this review. I believe someone wanted me to do 17 on the review, but let's go down the line. So here we have a problem. The line y is equal to 3x plus 4 and y is equal to x plus 2. They are parallel. Who can tell me what makes a line parallel, people? Anybody? And what is the difference between a parallel line and a perpendicular line? You guys remember the map I did? As far as Parsons Boulevard. Yeah, I already answered that regarding the vertical line. The slope of a vertical line is undefined, and slope of a horizontal line is 0. Now we're up to what is the difference between a parallel line and a perpendicular line? Anybody want to take a guess? Yeah, good. Yeah, parallel means they have the same slope, correct? While a perpendicular line would be the negative reciprocal. So now, let me show you my iPad. Tell me if this is not cool. Ha! Everybody seeing that? Look at that piece of work. That belongs in the museum. Right. So, for a parallel line, if we have y is equal to 3x plus 4, And then they're saying that we have another equation that says y is equal to ax plus 2. In order for these two to be parallel, they have to have the same, they need to have the same slope. Slope has to be the same. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm doing this through my iPad. I told you guys I was going to work my ass off. I don't even know if I could say that on YouTube. I had to work my you-know-what off to see the technology. Hopefully my other colleagues are not having problems, but this is what I do for my people. All right, cool. So slope has to be the same for parallel lines. That is very important. Now for perpendicular lines, that is different. It has to be the negative reciprocal. So here, the answer for this would be what? If it has to be the same parallel line, then M here has to be 3. What's it say here? What did Ahmad say? Yo, I'm so weak. What's weak? Are you sick, Ahmad? What's going on? Now, let's say you're asked the same question, 3x plus 4, and then y is equal to ax plus 2, and they want perpendicular. What would be the slope? Ooh, Juma in the house. Yeah, Juma. That's so cool. Alam's also there. Han, you got it wrong, Han. You're almost there. It's the negative reciprocal, right? Perpendicular is the negative reciprocal. So it would be negative, the m would be negative 1/3. Negative. Don't forget the negative. That's right, Hector. Oh, damn, Ahmad, Joy. Oh, look at all of you popping up on my screen. Oh, that's cool. Yo, check this out. I moved my screen up and down now. Oh, I wish I could do that in class. You see that? Oh, damn. I love technology. All right, cool. So I'm gonna go back to the website. So that's like number 5, right? So be prepared to answer questions like that, especially like number 6. You have 2 points, and they're gonna ask you distance. They're gonna ask you slope. Well, we all know what slope is, right? So things that you need to understand for lines. So let me go back to my iPad so everybody can understand what's going on, especially those that are coming in late. So for lines, we have to know, for the topic of lines, we have to know slope, whereby m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus whoops, I love that. Oh, this is so cool. Minus x1. So slope is important. Where are we going to put slope? Slope we're going to put in y is equal to mx plus b, right? So this is going to be replaced here with the slope that you get. I'll put that in here, right? So if you have 2 points, let's say 1, 1 and 5, -4. These are the 2 points from the problem of the review for the midterm. Remember, guys, what I told you. We take the biggest two values, right? So in this case, which one should we get? 1, 1, or should we use 5, negative 4, which is going to be our x2 and y2? Anybody want to take a guess? No? Getting there? Maybe. Could be. Okay. So x2, y2, x1, y1. And then wherever you see this, you're going to replace it, right? And I'm going to replace it with x2. This is 1. And that's 1. And y1 would be negative 4. And x1 would be what? 5? There you go. So then here, don't forget that a negative and a negative becomes a positive, right? A negative and a negative becomes a positive. So 1 plus 4 is what? 1 plus 4 is 5. And then 1 minus 5 is what? Negative 4. All right, so let me check this out if I did everything correctly. I got my x2 is 1. My y2 is 1. Cool. My y1 is... Ooh, yep, I did it right. Y1 is negative 4. And my x1 is 5. So I did it right. So that's my slope. So now I could change m. That becomes 5 over negative 4x plus b. Y is equal to this. So how would I find the y-intercept for this problem? Anybody want to take a guess? How would I find it? I have 2 points, right? I have 1, 1, and I have 5, negative 4. Which one do you think I should use? Should I use the 1, 1, or should I use the 5, negative 4? Any guesses? I want to go with something easy, right? So I'm going to use 1, 1. So I'm going to replace this. Put this in here. 1, 1. Negative 5 over 4. When I multiply these two out, I'm going to get what? I'm going to get negative 5 over 4. And plus b is equal to 1. I got to solve for b, right? So plus 5 over 4. Plus 5 over 4. These cancel out. So then I get 1 over 1 plus 5 over 4 is equal to b. So I'm just going to multiply this out here. Put 4 over 4 here. And then I'm going to get 4 over 4 plus 5 over 4. 9 over 4 is equal to b. So if we go back, I'm going to rewrite this. Y is equal to 5 over negative 4 x. And then this is going to replace it here. Plus 9 over 4. I got my equation. Y is equal to 5 over 4 x plus 9 over 4. All right. Any questions on that? Did everybody get this? Am I making an error anywhere? Can I go to the website now? Remember, this is going to stay on the video, so it's not like all of this is going to disappear. It's going to stay there. So let me go back to my my website. So that's like a question that That's going to get asked on the midterm. It's something that you need to know. Plus distance, parallel lines, all of this stuff. I haven't forgotten. Akhtar was asking about question number 17. Everyone understand how to do circles, right? Okay, good. So besides lines, you're also going to have to do circles, right? We had a quiz on this before, and just very briefly, I am going to do this problem very fast because I know you all have this. I've been reviewing since day one. So let me go back to my iPad. So here we got the circles problem, right? So with the circles problem, I'm going to copy the same thing that I have from the review. And it's 7x squared plus 7y squared minus 42. 42. X minus 28y minus 84 equals to 0. Yeah, we're doing circles, Ahmad. Awesome. So what's the greatest common factor here? What's the GCF, right? Can everybody see it? What the GCF is? Look at it. Something that's divisible by all of this. What is the whole thing divisible by? So everything is divisible here by 7. So when we cross all of this out, right? So then we're going to get x squared plus y squared minus 6x minus 4y minus 12 equals to 0. Aw, damn, look at all those pretty pictures. Very nice. So now we're gonna not only are we gonna find the greatest common factor, now we're gonna group, right? So we're gonna group our x's, x squared minus 6x, and don't forget that box, y squared minus 4y box. And this 12 is like, yo, homie, what's going on? I'm all by myself here. So it goes to the other side, right? Use shift and press 6. What's that? During the midterms, how do we input exponent if it's needed in the answer? Ah, good question. Yes, shift and press 6 on the keyboard. Very good. Right, so for instance, if you wanted to write this on the computer, right, so it would be x caret 2 minus 6x. Well, you're going to have to work this out, right? Y caret 2 minus 4y. Whoops. 4y box equals plus 12. So let me circle the caret. This is the caret. And then in order to do that, you have to hit shift plus 6 to get the caret. All right, good stuff. All right, let's keep going up. All right, so we grouped all of this. Does everybody remember how do we solve this? How do we find, because this is my A, this is my B, this is my C, this is my A, B, C. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? What do we do here? Come on, guys! You totally forgot already. There's something we got to do here. Nobody remembers. Coronavirus ate my brain. Okay. There you go. Miriam's in the house. That's right. So B divided by 2 squared equals to C. Now you know our participation online is also valid, right? So in this case, b is negative 6 divided by 2 squared. I'm going to get negative 3 squared. So this is going to turn into what? 9, right? So that's C. So I'm going to put 9 here. And for this part, I have b divided by 2 again is equal to C, whereby b is negative 4 divided by 2 squared is equal to C. I'm going to get negative 2 here squared is equal to C. I'm going to get 4 is equal to C. I'm going to put that here. I'm going to put positive 4. Chat is delayed. That's right. Yeah, for some reason. That, you know, like my voice comes first, right? And then the chat comes. Yo, Ayo's there. Oh, Ayo, I like your picture. Okay. So let me rewrite this again. So we got x squared minus 6x plus 9. And we got y squared minus 4y plus 4. Hernandez, you still here? Send me a holler. I know he was here at the beginning. I hope everybody subscribes to this channel. I'm going to become a millionaire with all your subscriptions. Nah, I'm just joking. I won't even have like 1,000 subscribers. Oh, you never know. All right, so now we got to factor this out, right? So we got x minus 3, and here we're going to get y minus 2 is equal to positive 12. These two join together. I get x minus 3 squared, y minus 2 squared is equal to positive 12. Now, nobody has mentioned something that I had to do with the 9 right here, with this 9 and this 4. I don't know if you noticed on the left-hand side I added 9 and I added 4. So what I do to the left, I got to do to the right, correct? So I'm gonna add plus 9 here, and I'm gonna add plus 4 here. So all of this together is going to give me 25. So I'm no longer gonna have plus. I'm no longer gonna have plus 12. I'm gonna have 25. Correct. So let me erase this here. And I'm going to put 25. Even with an iPad, my handwriting is no bueno. Alright, so I'm just going to, for those who are going to see this video later, I'm just going to tie these together here so everybody knows where this is coming from, right? That's right, add it to the left. Alright, so check it out. I got my standard form of the equation here, right? Which is x minus h squared y minus k squared is equal to r squared. And if I have that definition, then one of the questions that's going to get asked from you is, what's the center, right? And we know that the center is h and k, whereby h and k comes from here, and the h comes from there. And we're always going to take the opposite, right? So the opposite value of this, right? So I'm going to get positive 3 and positive 2. So that's going to be my center. And what's going to be my radius? Right? If they ask for radius, what's going to be the radius? Anybody know? I know it's a little delayed. So that's going to be r squared is equal to 25. whereby r is equal to 5. And it's positive. It cannot be negative, right? So r is positive 5. That's right. Oh, look at all you. It's pretty good, right? Look at all this. Look at all this work. Oh my god. Correct. So now I'm going to graph it. Check out my y-axis, my x-axis. And I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'm here. And my radius is 5, right? So if I go 5 up, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. I'm here. If I go 5 down, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm here. Then if I go to the right another 5, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm here. And if I go to the left, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to be here. So there, that's my radius, right? This is going to be my radius. Right? That's my radius. I'm going up and I'm going down. And let's put a nice little red color here. Wow. That's pretty. So r is equal to 5, right? Now, can somebody tell me, do we have any x-intercepts? Any x-intercepts in the house? Anybody? Anybody can tell me any x-intercepts? What color should I pick? I got black, I got blue, red. I don't know, yellow looks good. Let's try yellow. Do I have any x-intercepts? Yeah, check it out. I got an x-intercept there. I got another x-intercept there. Yeah. So, yellow equals x-intercepts. And then if I put green, I got a green there and I got a green there. Equals my y-intercepts. So it's pretty hot. So now the answer would be, yeah, I got some x-intercepts, I got y-intercepts. I got to find them. It's not just a matter of saying, yeah, they exist. Like corona, right? It exists. We need to find some type of cure for it. So now we need to find our x-intercepts. And we need to find our y-intercepts. So in order to do that, we need to write our equation again, which is x minus 3 squared y minus 2 squared is equal to 25. And x minus 3 again, y minus 2 squared is equal to 25. So in order to find x-intercepts, you got to make y equal to 0. And in order to find y-intercepts, you got to make x equal to 0. Pink? Oh, pink. Ay, Dios mío, pink. Where's my pink? I don't think I got pink. Is this pink? Oh, this is pink. Oh, damn. Pink in the house. Yeah. How's that for pink? Okay, so in order to find the x-intercepts, y has to be equal to 0. So I'm going to change y to 0. And I'm going to go back to black so everybody understands what's going on here. So 0 minus 2 is negative 2 squared. This is 4 equals to 25. I bring this down, of course, x minus 3 squared. This, by the way, is plus 4. Don't forget the plus. No, purple. Oh, yeah, of course, Jones. I'll get you some purple. I'll do purple for the finding the y-intercept. So then I subtract 4 here. And x minus 3 squared is equal to 21. And I have a problem, guys. I have a power here, and I have nothing there. So that requires that I take the square root of both sides. So x minus 3 squared. I got a power here of 2. There's an index of 2 there. That cancels out. That cancels out. And I'm going to have x minus 3 is equal to the square root of 21. And remember, this is both positive and negative. So I'm going to put 3 here. That cancels that. I bring it over to the other side. I'm going to have that. And I'm going to have this. These two are going to be equal to my x-intercepts. All right. Yeah, buddy. So I got my 2 answers right here. Very good. Those are my 2 x-intercepts. And where do they go? They go right here. That's 1. And that's 2. That's my x-intercepts. All right. So now, back by popular demand, purple. So in order to do purple, purple. Is that purple? Yeah. Cool. All right. So in order to find a y-intercept, we got to make x equal to 0. So we're going to change x to 0. And that would be minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 25. So now 0 minus 3 is negative 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 25. So then we got 9 here plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 25. And I gotta get y by itself, right? So I'm going to subtract 9. This cancels out. I get y minus 2 squared is equal to 16, right? So I have the same issue, right? Like that I had before, that I have a power. So again, I got to take the square root of both sides, right? And so here I'm going to put this, my power. There's an index outside, right? That cancels with this. I end up with y minus 2 is equal to positive negative square root of 16. I'm not going to turn it yet, okay? I know I could take the square root right now, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm just going to add 2 here. I'm going to add 2 there. This cancels out. I get y is equal to positive 2 plus square root of 16. And I'm going to get y is equal to positive 2 minus the square root of 16. Purple's coming back. So the square root of 16 is 4 positive with 2. So this becomes 6. And as far as this is concerned, it becomes negative 4 plus 2. And this gets added together. I'm going to get negative 2. So these are my y-intercepts. And where are they located? They're here. And here, whoops. So that's cool. I know there's a lot of gibberish here. So you're going to have to watch this video over and over again to get it. But here, in this case, if we do a little recap and we go back, we started here for circles. This is literally one of the longest circle problems that you could get. We have greatest common factor here that has to be divided out, including the 0. Then we get x squared right here. Y squared 6x 4y minus 12 equals to 0. We got to complete the square. We got to find the c value. We found that it was 9 for the x's. It was positive 4 for the y's. Whatever we did on the left, we do to the right. And we end up with our standard form of the equation, which is x minus 3 squared plus, there you go, made a correction, y minus 2 squared is equal to 25. And then you're going to be asked to graph this. In order to graph it, you need to find the center and the radius, which we found by taking the opposite value, guys. Remember, you're always going to take the opposite value of this. You're always going to take the opposite value. If it's negative, it's going to become positive. If it's positive, it's going to become negative. All right. And we end up with a center of positive 3, positive 2, a radius of 5. We are now able to graph the circle. And we draw our radius with the center, which is in black. Oh, Mr. Mahdi, you're so funny. Could this be just number one question in the midterm, or will it be divided into multiple questions? This is just one question, and you have 15 problems. So, it's a lot. And you got 8 minutes per question. They're literally going to have 2 hours to do it. It's a lot of work. I told you guys got to prepare. Good question, Mahdi. So we graphed it. Based on the graph, we can determine that it does have y-intercepts. Right here, it has a y-intercept. It has a y-intercept. And we also found that it has an x-intercept. And it has an x-intercept, right? Right there in the yellow. And that means we have to solve for it, right? When we're looking for x-intercepts, we got to make y equal to 0, y-intercepts, x equal to 0. And we replace it, we find our values. The left side of the screen, we solve to get the x-intercepts, and we found our answer right here, right there, for our x-intercepts. And for the y-intercepts, these are our y-intercepts. And this is it for circles, but that's not the whole thing that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing more than that. We're going to be doing more than circles. So that's just cream on the cake. Let's go over. Ooh, compositions. 11. Remember? You did this in the homeworks, right? You got f of x is equal to x minus 19. You got gx is equal to 2x squared. And based on that information, you have to then find particular values, right? I want to go to the review. Let me go back here. I'm going to the final review, everybody, which is this. I hope everybody can see it. I'm highlighting it, and I'm going to open it in a new window. God bless America for internet. Look at this. Teaching from home. I love it. So when it comes adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, look at 41. Right? 41. We did this. We did graphs, or in one of the homeworks, we did tables. So it's something you want to look at when it comes to adding, multiplying, subtracting, and also compositions. You got to know that. Remember, mommy function has baby function, so we have to know that for the midterm. That's where this comes in. Problem number 11. See, multiplication here, they're just solving. But on the midterm, they like to have tables, or they like to have graphs. And based on those graphs, you have to then get your answers. All right, so let's continue. Because we're doing like a review right now for the first hour. Then we also got to do new material. So number 12, difference quotient. That's important. You guys want me to go over 41 and 42? Can you go over the homework real fast too? Okay, cool. Yeah. The latest homework, Jones, is homework 7, and that has to do with the lesson. That is why it was a little tough and complicated. So we're going to go over that. Mr. Muhammad is asking to go over problem number 41 and 42 of the review. I believe this. I think this is what he's referring to. So let me just go over this for maybe 5 minutes. I don't want to take too long on this. So here we have two functions. We have a v function, which is our absolute value, which is our f function, and we have our g function, which is a line. They're two separate functions. Just like we have here in a table, we have two separate functions. We have f of x and g of x, two separate functions. Now, when the value of x is -3, for the f function, it's going to be -9, but for the g function, it's going to be 3, and so on and so forth. So let's go back to this graph. So for instance here, number A, it says when the value of x is -3, and we're doing problem number 41 from the final review. I'm just going to write that down because I have to then go up. So when my x is -3, can everybody see this graph, or you want me to make it bigger? You want me to zoom in more? Damn, that's pretty big. Okay, that's pretty big. Okay, that's good. So when my x is 3, right? So this is x is 1, x is 2. When x is 3, they're asking me what is the value of y for the f function. So the f function in this case is blue, so I have to go up. So it's 1, 2, 3. So my y value would be 4. Thus, these two would be a point. -3, 4, x and y. So how would you write the answer? You could write it as a point, or you could write it as y is equal to 4. So let me go over here and show you on my iPad what I was just talking about. So this is problem number 41 from the review. So based on the graph, when x is -3, I have to walk on that x-axis and find which function they're referring to. In this case, it's the f function, right? They're referring to the f function. And it would be, ooh, did I put 4? Thank you for correcting me. Oh, made a mistake. Made a mistake. If I go back to that graph, thank you so much for that. Let's go back. So when my x is, was it -3? Oh my god, can't even remember now. Thinking about Corona now. Yeah, x is -3. So when x is -3, oh, see? Good question, Iqbal. Yeah, I totally made a mistake here. When x is equal to -3, I don't go to the right, I go to the left. Yeah, sorry. So x is -1, -2, -3. I'm looking for my y value. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the correct value is 5 for y. So I totally messed up on that. That's it. I'm going to lose points for that on the midterm. So let me go back to my iPad. Everybody check out my iPad. So when x is equal to -3, yeah, that's right. I was doing the wrong one. I needed some coffee, so I got some coffee right now. Cheers. It's coffee. I'll be thinking it's something else. It's going to put me to sleep. So x is equal to -3. I go to the left-hand side. Since the function is f and not g, I have to go up. When I go up and I hit the function, my y value is 5. So my answer would be y is equal to 5 as my final answer, which could be given as y is equal to 5, or even on the iPad I'm sloppy. Y is equal to 5, or you could give your answer as a point. Either one will work. So that's one way of doing it. Let's do the table. So let me go back to my screen for the table. I'm going to go to my table here. So this one's a little bit different because it's not just finding points, it's also solving, right? And these has compositions. So now we're doing 42. 42 from the final review. So for problem number A, we have F composition G when the value of x is 3, right? So the F function is the mommy function, or the primary function in this case. And the G function is the baby function, or the secondary function that is included within the primary function. So the first thing I got to do is the baby function, right? So I got to find G, find the value of y for the G function when my x is 3. So I look at the table, I look at x, and I go to 3 right here. And I'm trying to find G function, not f. So I'm going to get -3, right? So I'm going to work with -3 first. And I'm going to toggle over now to my iPad so you can see what I just did. And here's 42 on the right hand side, right? So F composition G when the value of x is 3 looks like this. F contains G. F contains G. Find the value of y when x is equal to 3. How do I get that value? I have to look at my table when my x is 3 right here on the right. And when my x is 3 here, my G is -3. That is why if I go back to my iPad, that value is now here as -3. So now I have to find the primary function, right? And basically now I'm saying x is equal to -3, find y. Before, I was saying for G function, x is equal to 3, find y. And the answer for that became -3. And then that -3 became the value of x for my f function. So now I got to go back to the table and I got to find that value. So again, x is equal to -3. X is equal to -3 right here. I have my cursor right on top of it. So when my x is equal to -3 for my f function, what is y? So my final answer here would be what? It's going to be -9 for that, for y. So let me go back to my iPad so you guys know what the answer is. -9. It's going to be -9. So this is -9. And that's my final answer, right? Because that's it. It's my final answer. All right, guys. You guys got to practice this more for the other problems as well. You got F composition F, G composition G, F composition F, G composition G, There's another problem in B. Now going back up to the graph, this graph has the absolute value in a line. And in here we have addition and we got multiplication, right? You could also have subtraction and division. So you would find the y values for f and you would find the y value for g. When the x value is 4, you add it together and that's your final answer. So that's how we would do this. All right, cool. So let's go back to the midterm review where we were. So besides doing addition, multiplication, and subtraction of functions, we have to know the difference quotient. And guys, this is long, but you guys got to divide and conquer. I told you guys that for this, you can't expect to be doing the whole thing at once because you're going to burn yourself, right? All right, so let me just write this problem down. This is what, problem number 12 for the midterm review. And it says f of x is equal to x squared minus 5x plus 1. And I got to do the difference quotient, right? Which is x plus h. And I do the negation of the function over h. All right, so I'm going to switch over to my iPad so that way at least you guys get an idea of how to do this. Or let me ask you this. Does everybody know how to do this and I could just skip over it and go on to bigger and better things? Or let's just take a vote on that. You guys are all probably like watching something else right now, right? Because if you're distracted in class, can't imagine you being distracted now in your house or wherever you're at. You're probably watching me in your phone or something. Anybody want me to do this problem or no? The x squared minus 5x plus 1. If not, I'm moving into bigger and better things. I'll wait for you guys. I think there's like a 10-second lag or something. Wow, it's been an hour already? Holy smokies. Time flies. No response. Estefania, I knew you were going to say to do it. Okay. All right. No worries. All right, so for the difference quotient, right, we essentially have 3 parts, right? We have the f x plus h. Then the other part is the negation of the function. And then the last part is combining everything together, right? Which is the whole thing. All right, so you got 1, 2, 3. So what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to replace all x values with x plus h. That's we're doing the first part. So we're going to put x plus h here, squared minus 5 times x plus h plus 1. So we got to multiply everything out. Correct. Thanks, Han. You're the man, brother. So x plus h times x plus h. We get x squared plus xh plus xh again plus h squared. And then here we're going to distribute this 5 in there. So we're going to get minus 5x plus 5h. What else? What am I missing? That's it. Plus 1. All right. So this is my final answer for 1. Right? So now I'm going to do 2. Hong, did I get the right thing? Oh, did he do the whole thing already? No. So 2 is a negation. So 2, I'm going to take negative 1 and I'm going to multiply the whole thing by -1, right? So I'm going to get negative x squared plus 5x minus 5. And then this is my final answer for 2. And then the third piece is putting everything together. So the first piece is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 5x plus 5h plus 1. That's the first part. And then the second part is negative x squared plus 5x minus 5. And then all of this is going to be over h. And we're going to cancel stuff out. X squared cancels with x squared. Negative 5x with 5x. Plus 1 with negative 5 gives me 4, right? Negative 4. So I'm just going to bring down what I have left. 2xh plus h squared negative 4 over h. Right? Oh, 5h. How did I get negative 5? Good question. If you see step number 2, right? So when we are given different quotient, we will be given an equation in full or in parts like the other examples. You are going to be given the whole problem, and then you need to understand that you need to break this up into pieces to solve it. Because if you don't, that's going to really screw yourself. All right, so let's see. Oh, damn, you're right. How the hell did I get negative 5? Yeah, I'm definitely on drugs. No, I'm not drugs. Let me make a correction here. Negative 1 times positive 1 is negative 1. So, yeah. Ooh, nasty. So, this is going to be negative 1. And that cancels out. So I'm going to get 2xh plus h squared plus 5h. Yep. That sounds better. See? Some of you are paying attention. I like that. So, am I done? I'm not done. Because I got a greatest common factor, right? My greatest common factor here would be h. And that's going to go here, right? 2x plus h plus 5, right? Over h. All right? Because h times 2x gives me 2xh. H times h will give me h squared. And h times 5 will give me 5h. So that's good. I can cancel out the h's now. So I'm going to cancel that. And my final answer for this huge problem is 2x plus h plus 5. Oh, plus 5? Yep. Estefania, what's going on? Tell me. What did I do wrong now? Hopefully nothing. 2xh plus h plus 5. Yeah! That's what I'm talking about, Ahmed. Very nice. All right. So, any questions on this, on the difference quotient? You could either get 3 things to do, like I just did here. This is the first thing, that's the second thing, and that's the third, putting everything together. Or they could just give you number 3, and that implies that you have to do 1 and 2 as well. Yep. Oh my God, 706. I did cancel the other h. Right here, at the bottom. They're canceled. So I got 2x plus h. Oh, you mean this one? You can't cancel that because you factored it out. You factored it out from h squared. H times h, when I multiply this and this, it's going to give me h squared. Yeah. Good. All right, so let's go back to the review. Doing a lot. You know what's the cool thing about this? I don't have to review again because I could just say, go to the video and play it. That is cool. Let's continue. You definitely need to understand how to replace values here. For instance, the value of x is -3 versus the value of y is 3. So know the difference between the two, right? So you got to understand that well, here they don't have x, they have n. So the value of n is -3, so you're going to be replacing n with -3 here, n with -3 here, and then this whole thing, qn, will be replaced by 3, and then you would solve to find the value of a. It becomes a proportion, by the way. I don't know if you see the equal sign. Yeah, cool. Jimenez in the house. Cool. Hey! Oh, check it out. Roller coaster. We did this. We did this in class. Now, something that you have to understand is that this roller coaster doesn't continue, right? It's not continuous. It starts here at -14.2 and it ends at 12.2. So if you're asked a question like domain and range here, you got to be careful because you're not going to say positive, negative, infinity. For domain, you're going to say -14, right? Because that's my x value, -14 to 12. That's my domain, and both are going to be in brackets. Can everybody see this, or you want me to make it bigger? Make it bigger? How's that? I don't want to make it too big. Damn, that's big. And for range, remember range is y value, so the highest value for y is 3, and the lowest value for y is -2. Yeah, Stefania is on the house. Look at that, because the circles are closed. That's right, they're solid. Oro sólido. That's right, they're solid. If they were hollow, then you would not be using brackets. You would be using parentheses. So for my range again, it would be 3 all the way down to -2, and both would be brackets. Or you could say -2 to 3, whichever you want to go. You want to be a fallen angel. Not too big. Oh, okay. I'll shrink it. Is that better? There you go. I think that's better. Cool. All right, there you go. So you got to answer all of these questions. Find the value of y when x is -14. So when x is -14, the value of y is -2, because everyone want to see that. When the value of -6, when the value of x is -6, then I go here, and the value is 3 for y up here. All right, good. Over here, if -4, if x is -4, is y positive or negative? So at -4, my function is up here, so my y is positive, not negative. E, for what numbers of x is y equal to 0? Y equal to 0. For what values of x is y equal to 0? So y equal to 0 is literally on the x-axis, right? So it would be -12 for x. That's 1. It would be -2, right? And how is it -2? No, hold on. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. So this would be -2 here. -2, 0. And then the other one would be 8, 0. So, gotta know the difference. Gotta know the difference. All right. What is the domain? We went over that. What is the range? We went over that. What are the x-intercepts? I just did the x-intercepts, right? I just did them. So that problem, E and H are very similar. Cadisa actor, -2. Right, -2, negative 2, 8, and 12. -2, 8, and -12, you mean, actor. Oh, yeah, you wrote it. Yeah, you're right. Oh, actor's in the house. Look at that. Very nice indeed. All right, and oh, another question that you could be asked. The line y is equal to 2, how many times does it touch the function? Y is equal to 2. So we know that it's a horizontal line. Y is equal to 2. So it's going to be up here. Y is equal to 2. So it's going to hit it once. It's going to hit it twice. It's going to hit that 3 times. So the line y is equal to 2 hits the function 3 times. Shucky ducky. Very nice. All right. Let's continue. I don't want to say too much in one problem. All right, guys. Problem 15, people. This is a bad one, but 15 is very similar to the one we did in class. This is the final review, by the way. Yes, Sec. Why did Juma and Sec have different answers for that problem? Okay, I'm gonna go back in a minute. All right, let me go back. If we go back to the graph, the line y is equal to 2 hits the graph once here, where I have it, once, twice, 3 times. You see it right there? It hits it 3 times. So it's 3 times, Juma. Yeah. Thanks, Sec. I appreciate it. So now, let me go back to that problem that we were just doing. So this is number 15 in the midterm review. It says y is equal to 4x squared minus x minus 3. And it's very similar to the problem on the final review for the class, which is here. This is the final review. It says answer each question about the function x squared minus 2x minus 1, a through f. It's very similar. So we went over this. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I also have to go over the new material that we have to do. But concentrate on 15. I'll probably do 15 on Wednesday. Just remind me to do 15 or 23 on the final review. They both touch on the same thing. And let's keep going. 16. Do you remember the problem we did just now regarding adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing in compositions of 2 functions, and you could get it as a table or as a graph? Well, here's another example. And these 2 intersect. So you got to be careful, right? You got to be careful. The other one doesn't. You just got to count the boxes. All right, let's keep going. I believe Actor was asking questions about 17, right? Was it Actor that asked about this? I think she did. I think so. I think she was asking about 17. A question like 17, what you need to understand is that they're going to be asking you for the highest points and for the lowest points, the maxima and the minima of the graph. So basically it relates to the highest points and the lowest points on the graph. It's not something to lose like your mind over. Um, that's basically it. Um, let's take a look. So, in a problem like that, give me a moment, guys. Just having a little problems here with the connection. All right. All right. So let's go over 17. It says, using the given graph of the function, find the following. The numbers, if any, at which the f has a local maxima. What are these local maxima? So maxima refers to highest points, right? And then b refers to what are the numbers, if any, that has the local minima, which is the lowest point. So for maxima, if we start looking at the graph and it starts from left to right, or you could go from right to left, you will see that negative pi over 2, comma, negative 7 is the lowest point, and the highest point on this graph would be pi over 2, comma, 7. So let's see if I can graph that here. I'm going to see if I can graph this on my iPad. Hold on. Give me one momento. And then this has pi over 2, comma 7. I'm graphing it on my iPad so that way I can manipulate it. Negative pi over 2, comma negative 7. And then negative pi to positive pi. All right, switching over gears to the iPad. All right, so don't be laughing at my graph. You know I stink at art. So in this case, we have the graph that starts here, and then it goes all the way here. This would be our lowest point. It goes up. This would be our highest point, and then it goes back down. Right? So maxima is referring to the highest point. So for the highest point, it would be this one. Here, let me erase the screen. This would be my highest point. So it would be pi over 2, comma 7. That would be my highest point. And my lowest point, so this would be my maximum. And then my minimum would be this. Now, how does that relate? How does that relate to the graph that we just had previously? Let me go back, because that relates. So I'm going to go back up. I'm going to go back up to the roller coaster. Okay, right there. Okay, so do you see this graph? So this one you might say can have two maximum points. It could be negative 6.3 and 12.2, all right, because they're up there. And the two minimas or lowest points would be negative 14, negative 2, and 4, comma, negative 2. All right, so this is something you want to look at. All right, good question. All right, I hope that you're good, Hector, on that. Hector. Okay, cool. All right, let's continue. Okay, good. 18. So 18 on the midterm review has to do with identifying which of the graphs are correct. It's very important that you know the difference. We had a quiz on this. I believe that was the last quiz we had, whereby you had to identify the functions. And you got to know the difference between a parabola. The one for 18, that's a cubic root. You have to know the difference between a positive and a negative cubic root. And you got to know the difference between a positive and negative square root. You also have to know what a cubic function is. These are very important. That's very important. All right. So here, it's not going to be A. It's not going to be B because that's x to the third. And it's not going to be C as in Charlie because that's negative cubic root. So the only remaining possible answer here would be D. And it doesn't have a transformation to either left or right because if you look, there isn't anything after the x on the problem itself. It's not shifting to the right or to the left. And there's no k value outside the function to tell you that it's going up or down. And there's no negative outside to say that it's getting reflected over the x-axis. Estefania, you are correct. It's D. D. Very nice. All right, so 19. So let's go to 19. So 19 here we have a piecewise function. And as we already know, a piecewise function is a combination of multiple functions within it. So you have to identify what this is. The first function is a line, has a slope of a 2, and the y-intercept is -1. It's being restricted only for the values of x that are between -2 and +2. And at these limits, it's included because there's an equal sign. So that's pretty cool. You can include -2 and 2 for the answers of the line. The one below it, that's a cubic function that has been shifted up 2 units. And the values of x are 2 to 6. However, 2 is not included and is not part of the solution. As far as 6 is concerned, it is included for x to the third minus 2. So we have to understand that. So in this case, they're saying when x is 0, does it apply to the line or does it apply to the cubic function? So when x is 0, it would be to the line, right? So I would take 0, plug it in here. 2 times 0 is 2. I'm sorry, 2 times 0 is 0. Minus 1, my answer for A would be -1. You would do the same thing for 1, 2, and 6 to find out which one applies and which makes it true. And that's how you would answer that. Does it have a graph question? No, it doesn't have a graph question. But check it out. Problem number 20 does have a graph question. So that's why it's so important to understand what kind of functions you have. Shristi, yes, you are correct. It is -1. So for problem number 19A, problem 19A is -1. This one. Very good. All right, so let's continue. Look at 20. 20, you have an absolute value, and you have a cubic function. The cubic function is only valid to the right of 0, and at 0 there is no equal sign, meaning that 0 is not part of the solution for the cubic function. While for the absolute value, the value of -2 for x is included, but the value of 0 is not. So we have to look at that and say to ourselves, which of these graphs is it? So the absolute value is going to be true to the left of 0. I have a question from Maharaj. How would we be able to do the graphs online for the midterm? So, right, the program itself has a component to graph, or if we have multiple choice like we do here, It's just a matter of you understanding the concept and selecting the right graph. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to select the right graph as far as the multiple choice question is concerned. So we know that the absolute value is true to the left of 0. So we're going to look at all the graphs, and we're going to look for graphs that are true for absolute value to the left of 0. So A has that. B doesn't, because you see that curve? That doesn't look like an absolute value, so B is out. C could be it, right? It's either A or C. D, forget about D. You see another curve there, and you know it's an absolute value to the left of 0. How do I know that? Because it's telling me right here. It's only true left of 0 up until -2. So it's either A or C. So now I have to look at the second piece. X to the third is only true to the right of 0. And this is a positive function, x to the third. So A looks like the answer. Let's see what C. You got to be careful with C, because this is negative x to the third. If this said negative x to the third here, then C would be true. But since we don't have a negative in front of the x to the third, then the only logical answer, if we were a Vulcan from Star Trek, would be A. So we're all Vulcans right now. All right, so that's pretty good. Let's continue. 21. Let's continue identification. So here is an absolute value that has been reflected over the x-axis. So it's not going to be B, this one right here, because that's a parabola. It could be either A, B, or I'm sorry, it's either going to be A, C, or D. So for C, it's telling me it moved to the right 4 units, so it definitely did not move anywhere. It's at 0, 0. So the logical answer for me would be what? The last one, right? Because I have a negative in front of the function, which negates my absolute value. And this 4 is what makes it look very skinny. All right, that's 21. Let's continue. I know everybody's looking at the clock. You can just feel it, even though we're through the internet. All right, choose the function that matches the given graph. Yes, I have to go over the homework because I'm trying to get into the lesson. So this is a negative parabola that has been shifted to the left 6 units. So you know if it's -6 here, it has to be +6. So for me, the answer is C. This shifted up 6 units. This moved to the right 6 units. This is an absolute value, so the only logical answer is C. All right, let's keep going. Here we got more parabolas. Write the function whose graph is the graph, but is reflected over the y-axis. So here, they're not asking for x-axis. They're asking for y-axis. So in order to make this true, you have to put a negative in front of the x, not the function itself. And then that would give you reflection over the y. Here we have more identification. This is the square root. Choose the correct graph. It's not going to be B, and it's not going to be A, because that looks totally wrong. So it's either C or D. But again, you're not going to be tested on the A value, so don't be worrying about the A value. You would be tested on movement right or left, up and down, and reflection, not the A value. For kicks and giggles, I believe it's D. I could be wrong. But the answers are on the last page. All right, so I wanted to get to 25. 25 here is a quadratic, and here we have to use a formula, and that formula is negative b over 2a. And remember, you got to keep that negative on the outside, and the formula is negative outside, parentheses, you're going to put b on the numerator over 2a. You got to do that in order to find this. And then the a value here would be 1. The b value here would be 20. And those are the values you're going to replace a and b with on that formula. And then that will give you the value of x, which you're then going to input in here and replace to get the value of y, because you got to get the vertex. You see, b, what is the vertex? That's the only way to do it. So you got to use that formula. All right, is it going to be given to you? No. So you got to know it. Negative b over 2a. All right. All right, I want to keep going. Oh my God. This is it. It's the end. Okay, that's the end of the review. Okay, cool. So are we still here? I think we are still here, right? Yeah. At an hour and 34 minutes, our review is over. So now let's get into the homework. So this is the homework you guys were talking about, right? That you guys were like having a problem. Now, some of you haven't done the homework yet. There are no formulas that are going to be given to you. You got to know them. Good question, Sec. So for homework number 7, this goes into understanding how to build functions. This is not going to be on the midterm, but I'm not giving you formulas, no. So you got to know them. I know it's hard for me to control you guys from writing the formulas down, unless I go through the fiber optic cable into your houses, but I don't have that capability yet. All right, so this is homework 7 that's due tonight. So in order to do homework 7, you had to look at this lesson, polynomial functions and their graphs, right? And where is this lesson? This is right here, chapter 4. So when you click on 4.1, it's going to open this slideshow, which talks about polynomials. So the only polynomials that you are going to encounter are going to be either x to the third polynomials or x squared polynomials. So take a look at this slideshow. It's going to, give you lots of details, but the one I want to go over right now is the one below this presentation. So let me go back. I believe it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. So it's the second file here. It's called Chapter 4, Part 1. And we're basically going to talk about polynomials, right? And a polynomial is a combination of many monomials. So for instance, ax plus bx, that's two monomials, gives you binomial. And then if you have 3, it would be a trinomial. And if you have more than 3, then it would be a polynomial. So let's take a look. So here, this is a degree of 1, this is a degree of 2, degree of 3, degree of 4. Why is that important? Because let's say you have a parabola, right? In your parabola, x squared is the black line, right? If you increase it, the power, let's say to x to the 4th, then you see that it's pulling in, right? The black arrows are pulling in. And if you increase the power from 4 to 8, it pulls it even more in. You see the blue versus the black versus the regular power of x squared. However, it still doesn't change what it is. X to the 4th, x to the 8th, x to anything that's even is going to look like a parabola. That's what we're trying to get at. Okay, so here's another example. We have x to the 12th, x to the 8th, x to the 4th, x to x squared. They're all going to look like x squared. They're all going to have the same behavior. All right. Now, when it comes to x to the third, x to the 3rd, x to the 7th, x to the 11th, they're all going to look very similar to x to the 3rd. It's just going to be pulling in towards the y-axis or pulling away. So the way I like to describe this is a donkey, a horse, they're all going to look very similar because they have 4 legs, they got ears, they got a snout, very similar. However, you can't compare a donkey and a horse or a mule to a giraffe. Even though they both have 4 legs, totally different animal, right? Like, huge neck. So it's the same thing here. X to the 3rd and x to the 11th are going to look very similar, but they're not going to look like x squared. Never. All right. So let's continue. So if we look at this function here, we know that this is odd function, x to the 5th. So it should look like x to the 3rd. However, it's been reflected over the x-axis because it has a negative, and it has a 1 telling us that it moved up. That's how we end up with C. Now let's look at the next problem. This is x squared, but in this example, we have x to the 4th, so it's going to look more narrow. And then what happened to it? It moved to the right 1 unit. So it went from 0, 0, 1 unit to the right, and because of the half, the a value is going to look nice and chunky, right, or wide. Where is this coming to? This is coming here. If you look at this graph, it's like a roller coaster. This roller coaster, something occurs when it crosses the x-axis. The behavior at the x-axis is controlled by the roots, the x-intercepts. Depending upon the degree at that root, the degree at that x-intercept, it's going to determine whether or not the behavior of the graph will cross to the other side, as opposed to here that it doesn't cross and it just touches and comes back. So let me say that again. This is a continuous graph, right? It's continuous. It's going to positive infinity for range, and it's going to negative infinity for range. And it's also going to negative infinity for domain, and it's also going to positive infinity for domain. But this has certain characteristics at the x-intercepts, which are also called roots. And I want you to write this down. It's very important. At the roots, depending upon the degree, if the degree is odd, it's going to cross to the other side. If the degree is even, it's not going to cross. It's going to touch, but then it's going to come back down. So I know that's a lot of definition, but let's see an example of this. Let me take you to an example. I'll take you to an example right here. So let's do this example, right? So here we have x plus 3, x minus 2, x minus 5. If you look at the degree on the top, if you look at the degree at the top, it's a degree of 1. It's a degree of 1, and it's a degree of 1. If it's a degree of 1, then it's odd. That automatically tells us that these zeros, these x-intercepts, so here it would be negative 3, 0. This would be positive 2, 0. This would be positive 5, 0. At those x-intercepts, at those roots, I am going to cross. So let me show you on the graph what I mean. So you see here, this is negative 3, 0. This is 2, 0. And then this is 5, 0. At each of these x-intercepts, due to the fact that I have a degree of 1 here, I have a degree of 1 here, and I have another degree of 1 here, that's going to make my graph cross the x-axis. So I'm going to show you an example a little later where you're not going to have a degree of 1 here. You're going to have a degree of 2. And when you have a degree of 2, you're not crossing the x-axis. It's like, I compare it to like immigration. If I don't have a visa, I can't cross to the other side, right? They're not going to let me in. But if I have a visa, then I'm going to cross. If I don't have a visa, then I'm only going to come to the border, and then Customs Border CBP is going to deport me back. It's going to say, no, you cannot enter, you cannot cross. So I think of it that way. So if you have a visa, you have a green card, you're a U.S. citizen, you got a blue passport, boom, you can cross to the other side. So that's what happens when your degrees are odd, as opposed to even degrees. When you have an even degree, you can't cross. Let me show you an even degree. An even degree is here. This is a good example of an even degree. So if you look here, you see the degree is 2. Due to the fact that the degree is 2, here at 0, 0, when my graph comes up, it's not going to keep going up. It's not going to cross the other side. It's going to come, touch, and it's going to go back down. But here at 2, 0, and where is this 2, 0 coming from? It's coming from here. At 2, 0, what's the degree outside? My degree outside is 1. Because I have a degree of 1, I am permitted to cross the x-axis and go out. But before at 0, 0, I'm coming up. I see that at 0, 0, my degree is 2. Immigration stops me and says, you know what? You can't cross. Go back down. I try again to cross. This time I do have a visa. This time I am a U.S. citizen. This time I have a green card. I can cross to the other side. So that's one way of looking at it. Now I know I gave you guys a lot of information. I'm going to take a roll call here. We're going to start on this first thing on Wednesday. Don't leave because I'm taking attendance. I need you guys to be on the chat and to tell me if you are here by putting yes. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down the attendance. Today is March 23rd. March 23rd. March 23rd, people. Afodagni Jean, are you here? Yeah. Afodagni Jean, are you here? Yes, no, maybe? No. Okay. Ahmad Arman. Ahmad Arman. No. Oh, yeah. John, good. Thank you. You're here. Good, 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 good. Arman, Ahmad. Are you in? I thought I saw you. No? Actor Khadiza. Actor Khadiza. I saw you. Ayo. I think I saw you, Ayo. Just say yes again. Rakibu Alam. Yep, you're there. Shristi. I think I saw Shristi. Sean Clare. Sean Clare. Mark DeFreitas. Mark DeFreitas. Are you here? Say yes on the chat. Vashti. Vashti, are you here? Say yes on the chat. Yes, the chat is delayed. However, When you say yes, I'll be able to go on the chat and then review whether or not you were here. And if your name is Hot Latin Poppy or Goddess of Love, I need you to write your name, because there's no way I'm gonna associate Hot Latin Poppy and Goddess of Love with your name. All right. Farouk, are you here? If you're here, say yes on the chat. Mr. Hernandez, I saw you earlier. So I think you're here. Hong, I saw. Diana, I saw. Ivalango. Brian Jimenez, I believe I saw. Say yes on the chat. Rasheen James. Yay, I was here. Rasheen James. Fatima Yohuda. All right. Shahida Juma, I saw her. Sakib Khan, I believe I saw earlier. Just say yes. Kim, I didn't see you on the chat. So if you're here, this is the time to say you're here. Saracia Maharaj, I think I saw. Arman Ahmad, yes, I got you. Mohammed Abdullah Mahdi. Yep, there you are. Mamima, I believe I saw Mamima. Ahmed Muhuddin. There you go. Mosamad Baby Nazneen. Oh, Mosamad Baby Nazneen, are you here? So yes, if you're here. Joy, I believe I saw you on the chat earlier, but just say yes. And Ola, are you here? I hope you're here, Ola. And Mariam Saman. Sek, I saw earlier. And Tudashwari Singh, I hope you're here. Jones, I saw earlier. And Iqbal Dawood, are you here? So I just took attendance. Now, you have until midnight to submit the homework. Whatever you can, you're going to submit. Now, remember, this is not on the midterm, but it is going to come on the final. And I'm going to try to see if I could get Zoom. Maybe we get some video chat in here. That would be crazy, but I think that would help us. I hope everybody enjoyed today's class. I tried very hard to make this happen. Any suggestions, let me know. The other thing is we're going to start this on Wednesday again. The homework is due by midnight. Dawood Iqbal, yeah, I did call you. The homework is due by midnight, so you got to send it via email. Make sure you have your name, and on the subject line it says homework 7, and your name on the subject line, because sometimes I get like crazy emails from Hot Latin Chick at hotmail.com, and you send me homework and I don't know who you are. Yes, Fatima, I got you on there. So any questions, you can email me. Homework 7 is due tonight, not homework 6. So make sure you get those homeworks in. I don't want to hear that nobody knew when the homework was due. Remember, every Monday the homework is due. You got plenty of time to do the homework. You had a week off thanks to the coronavirus. And Actor says, can we continue class in here? What do you mean continue? Like when they tell us to go back to school, continue here? Is that what you mean? I don't get it. Yeah, it's a lot better for you guys, huh? Okay. Alright, guys. So I am going to close this session right now. I will go over stuff. And I'm going to try to see if I can get Zoom for Wednesday. at least for chatting purposes, right? That would be cool. And I guess I got to figure out how to use my iPad and the other stuff on here, but it's going to be good. All right, so I'm going to post this to YouTube right now. I'm going to click on finish, and then you're going to hear my voice, and I'm going to become immortal. It was great, guys. Homework is due by midnight. If I don't get homework by midnight, it's late. It's going to be late. 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 Latte. Late. Actor, I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say. Continue class here? Like, what do you mean, continue class? Like, yeah, we're going to continue class here. I'm just trying to see if I could use Zoom for video. Like, for video only. Like, for, instead of texting, we could just talk. Yeah. On Wednesday, we're going to do YouTube again, but it's, I'm also going to include Zoom as well. I'm going to see, if I can include Zoom, so that way whoever wants to participate, they can. I don't like using Blackboard because I had some teachers, my colleagues, that were saying that they were having issues getting on, that it's just a hot mess. And this looks pretty cool so far. Okay, I'm signing out. Deuces. Stay safe. Stay corona-free. All right. It was good seeing you guys. All right, take care. Subscribe to the channel. Let's hit those hits. Share with your friends if you want. Make me famous. All right, take care. Bye.